All right, boys and girls, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing a watercolor wash for the backgrounds. And it's a little bit tricky because we have some large areas to cover, but at the same time you have details in your poster. Now my poster is a little bit smaller just so I can show you the painting. But basically you want to get your brush wet, okay? And you don't want to have too much water on your brush, but you kind of want to spread it around the areas that you're going to be painting. And you want a little bit of water, and then you get the paint on the brush. Okay, we only want like a light blue, and it's okay that it's like not totally covered. We kind of just want the feel of water. So if you can't get to the edges, that's actually totally fine. But what's important is that you have your background a little bit wet so that you can spread the paint around. And we're doing the background, but you want to also paint in the same direction. So you wet the background and then you add the paint. You also want to make sure that you're using your hand that you're not painting with to hold it still. And you want to just try to get an even distribution of color. As you can see, I'm using my hand to hold it still. Now it's going to curve a little bit because we're adding water fast to the paper. You just want a hint of blue. It's okay that it's not completely covered. Now what I'm going to do right now, I'm adding some water. If the paint gets too saturated, too light, too dark, you can just add a little bit of water to spread it around. Also, you see I'm rotating my painting. I'm working in one area and I'm just kind of continuing the painting. Once you wet the background, it's going to be easy to spread the paint around. Now, it shouldn't take so long because you kind of want to work methodically, meaning you want to work quickly and at the same time concentrate. Okay, so I'm moving my painting up a little bit. I'm adding water to the areas that I'm going to want to add a little bit of blue. And if you go over the line, don't worry about it because that's why we're painting the background first, so that when we use marker or watercolor pencil to color in the details, the foreground, right now we're just painting in the background here. See how that's like very saturated there, so now I want to spread that out. If you have a problem where it's too dark, we use a paper towel and blot it. So, and you don't spread it, okay? You just blot it. But you don't have to worry about getting the edges so much. We kind of are having the hint of water here. And once your water actually turns blue from dipping it into the paint and spreading it around here, again, that's a little bit dark compared to the rest. So I think I might want to blot it. And I know why that just happened, because I actually did not wet the background first. So I'm also using the tip of the brush. I'm holding the brush like a pencil. And I'm kind of starting in one section. You can start anywhere. And then work around in one direction. And if you have a little hair there, you can just get rid of it with your finger. Again, the most important thing to do is remember you're wetting the background first, then you add the color. And when you add the color, you might want to just go right into the water again, just to kind of make sure there's not too much color on it. And these hard to reach areas, you want to use the tip of the brush. And it's okay if it's not totally covered. At the end of your painting, you can go around and touch up. What's most important right now is that you cover a large surface area. Okay, so I think I'm gonna blot that, but it's okay because if one area is a little bit darker than the rest, because we're trying to make it realistic, and it's that when you're in the ocean, that every part of the ocean is the same color at the same time. So I'm almost using like the blue water a little bit to cover it. And so again, if it's too dark in one area where it stands out from the rest, like it is here, I'm just going to blot it and just use a little water to spread it out. So you can see it didn't really take me that long. And then you can go up to some of the areas and just touch up, if you have time, some of the areas that don't have any blue. Always use your hand that you're not painting with to hold the paper still. Again, we're gonna blot there. See, I'm glad I'm having some issues here, so that you can see that you have to constantly edit. And if you have time, you can go back into some areas, maybe just with the blue water, not with the paint, to touch up some of the areas that you might have missed or that might have been not dark enough. But it kind of has a nice feel that not everything is totally, perfect here. The most important thing to do is cover the surface area of your painting, and then you can always rework it with a little bit of water, because the paint is already there. You don't want to add paint. Once you go back to touch up, you can always make the Sharpie thicker around some of your words and pictures to kind of make up for the fact that there's a little white spots. But we really just want to get that background a nice light blue. And I just realized I forgot to do inside my D and O. And that's it. It only really took me about 6 minutes. I mean, mine's a little bit smaller than yours, but you get the idea. See, I'm just touching up with blue water, not with the paint, because we just want a light, very, very light blue to make it water. All right, that's it.